Daniel Cormier. And for those that don't know Daniel Cormier, you got to look up your UFC history. That's one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. But he's actually been in talks with the WWE, and he actually wants to start to try commentary first. So he's a retired UFC fighter now, and he's trying to make his way into the WWE. And it doesn't seem like it's just maybe as a wrestler. He wants to get into the commentary side of it. So tell me your thoughts on that.
Even though I despise Daniel Cormier due to the fact I think he's one of the chumps of the UFC, I am not against him coming to the WWE and being a commentator. And the reason why I say he's a chump is after the entire John Jones situation. And you know what? I feel like, man, he only did that because he lost. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about him being a commentator in the WWE. And if he can do it, let him do it. Hopefully he can replace Michael Cole. I despise Michael Cole more than anything else. When I look at wrestling, man, I mute the TV and I just watch what happens. Because, cool boy, when he talks, it's like, bro, you ever seen like a bee and a stinger and you'd be like, man, that's sharp. That's what it's like when he's in my ear. I'm like, bro, I can't do it. But you know what? Yeah, and he be stating the obvious, or he just tells you what's happening in such a way that's so, what's the best way I can put it? I'm just gonna say unintelligent, you know what I'm saying? Like no any kind of nuance to it. He just does it, and I'm just like, bro, just stop talking. Like, you know what? Mute your mic and keep talking. That's the way I feel about Michael Cole. But yeah.
You know, it's interesting for me. I mean, I never really was a huge Daniel Cormier fan when he was in the UFC. I was kind of more so when we talk about the heavyweight division. I actually like John Jones, even though he kept getting into a lot of things outside of the ring. That kind of, always halters his in-ring fights, but or his in-ring career. But I mean, I don't dislike Daniel Cormier. So if he wants to get into the wrestling world and he wants to get into commentating, then more power to him. I want to know his wrestling background because I haven't really heard too much of his wrestling history or anything like that. But if he's a fan of wrestling, he's a fan. I'm pretty sure he watched the Attitude Era if he was a fan of wrestling. And yeah, I just want to see what he would do as a commentator, especially if he grew up or if he was part of the time where he watched JR, which is the greatest commentator to me. Then he may be able to take from JR and apply it to his own commentary career. So more power to you, Daniel Cormier, and hopefully one day you can actually be a part of this podcast. And then he can actually talk to you about how you despise him. I can't despise a UFC fighter. They're gonna catch us slipping. It's hard. How do you fight off a UFC fighter? What can you do?
Hey man,
they not go.
Hey man, I got multiple gyms around here, man. I'm just saying, man. He ain't gonna catch me slipping.
He gonna catch me slipping. I ain't saying nothing about you, Daniel Cormier. More power to you. More power to you.